Howdy. I'm still waiting for answers from the GTK, the Finnish Geological Survey, and I made a small collage with some papers I have printed. Here on the left we have Anthony Perret, characteristics for the occurrence of a high current sea pinch aurora as recorded in antiquity, part 1 and 2. Anthony Perret and Marinus Anthony van der Sluis, and of course Walls Thornhill and David Talbot's Electric Universe. I wanted to show you some clouds because it turned out at our new locality we have clouds too. But I just wanted to show you something before we dive into some cloud pictures. Plasma and the universe, large-scale dynamics, filamentation and radiation. Anthony Perret, Los Alamos National Laboratory. One of the earliest predictions about the morphology of the universe is that to be filamentary. Alpha in 1950. 72 years ago. This prediction followed from the fact that volume-wise, the universe is 99.999% matter in the plasma state. When the plasma is energetic, it is generally inhomogeneous with constituent parts in motion. Plasmas in relative motion are coupled by the currents they drive in each other, and non-equilibrium plasma often consists of current-conducting filaments. In the laboratory and in the solar system, filamentary and cellular morphology is a well-known property of plasma. As the properties of the plasma state of matter is believed not to change beyond the range of our space probes, plasma at astrophysical dimension must be also filamentary. During the 1980s, series of unexpected observations showed filamentary structure on the galactic, intergalactic, and supergalactic scale. By this time, the analytical intractability of the complex filamentary geometries, intense cell fields, non-linearities, and explicit time dependence had forested the development of fully three-dimensional, fully electromagnetic particle-in-cell simulations of plasmas having the dimension of galaxies or systems of galaxies. It had been realized that the importance of applying electromagnetism and plasma physics to the problem of radio galaxy and galaxy formation derives from the fact that the universe is largely a plasma universe. In plasma, electromagnetic forces exceed gravitational forces by a factor of 10 to the 36th, and magnetism is 10 to the 17 times stronger than gravity even in neutral hydrogen regions, where the degree of ionization is a minuscule of 10 to minus 4. The observational evidence for galactic dimensioned birefront currents is a given based on the direct comparison of synchrotron radiation properties of simulated currents to those of extragalactic sources, including quasars and double radio galaxies. Yeah, I'm really itchy because there are millions and millions and millions of mosquitoes here. But anyway, one of the earliest predictions about the morphology of the universe is to be filamentary. So now let's check out some clouds. Filamentary structures. Clouds are plasma. It's not only proof, it's also really, really beautiful. And I just saw this because I didn't have sunglasses, but this I could somehow see, and I just took a picture because I thought that's really interesting. This kind of shadow. And then as I watched the picture, I noticed that there's a halo also. Same picture increased. This is maybe not the most spectacular picture, but somehow I found it interesting that it had this kind of bluish tone to it. This was interesting. Same picture increased. And here on the right side, there's all kind of stuff going on. Molecular structures. Sunset. And this was rising up. And we have the moon also here. Same picture but increased. This is from the same sunset, just from top of the hill. And what I found really interesting is that they were somehow aligned upwards. They weren't horizontal. These are not. And also these are interesting. They're moving downwards. And now I even found a spot where the sun was shining between or beside a house. So it was really at the sunset. No, that's widescreen. There might have been better places to watch that, I know, but what to do? That's the same picture enhanced. There's also colors behind. Yeah, that's neat. And this is how extreme weather looks in Finland. No wind, no rain. Extreme drought. I also wonder about this dandelion field. There is no crop growing here, obviously. And I have been watching, and I have to say, I haven't seen bees. Bumblebees sparsely occur, but no bees. I haven't seen one single bee. And at our new location, there are two of those bat boxes, or however you call them. People build boxes like for birds, but just for bats. And there are no bats. Where are the bats? Where is Batman? Somehow a bit strange, I would say. I also noticed this kind of thing in our yard. Here in the middle is clay, and there is a circle around it, and I have to check this out. What it does. Does it do anything? Water level is sinking all the time. Really interesting. But the clay areas, they stay wet, and they even get wetter. And I really have to try to observe them. Do they react to weather changes? Is there any relation to groundwater rising occurrences and weather system pressures, or even geomagnetic anomalies or activities? I don't know. So much other things to do, like watching the sky. Doesn't seem as interesting, many would say. If you increase the contrast, you will notice the filamentary structure of the clouds. That's the first picture of those. That's the second. There's a small series. And this is what we are watching at somehow the most, what I got intrigued really much by, because it turns into this kind of shape, which is really, really interesting. I mean, who else would notice that there's this kind of structure in the sky? Because this is the enhanced picture. With bare eyes, it looks something like this. And if you don't watch closely, you just see a gray sky. And that's even more increased. There's one thing going on here. And there's like so many streaks. There's, I would say, so much energy going on a large scale that it creates these kind of patterns. And if you see this kind of, like this thing here, for example, that's not a UFO, that's a mosquito. And I guess there are a few mosquitoes in every picture. Here's one. Anyway, this is what you can see with bare eyes. And this is how it looks when you increase the contrast. And it somehow funnily looks like it would be a dragon with many heads. Really interesting. It's a dragon. That's the eye. Hey.